Arman Tsarukyan's career could change for the worse, and it's all because of Dana's. It's all Dana's fault, man. If you guys don't know what's going on with Dana and Arman, it's not even hard to explain. I could explain it like this. Essentially, Dana made a science scheme to just torment him. He's on his ass, so y'all forget him. While Patty's trash, but he still present him. So Arman's losing mass so he can gain momentum. Yeah, baby, yeah. Losing mass, gain momentum. Brother, that's a bar. If you know the formula for momentum, you understand why that was special, guys. But for real, guys, I just don't understand why Arman Tsarukyan is going through what he doesn't need to be going through. Now, if you guys don't know, Arman Tsarukyan's considering going down to 145 pounds. That is featherweight. And before I even play this, can I just let you guys know something about Arman Tsarukyan and featherweight? First of all, if you look at Arman's size at 155, this dude's big. Like, size-wise, he's ripped out of his mind at 155, and he's always made weight. Let's say that. Like, he's always made weight, yeah, sure, on paper. But the whole Islam situation has me afraid of, like, his weight struggle or the amount of he already cuts to make 155. Now, going to 145. Now, on paper, it might seem like a great idea. Dude, he's going to school Mavzar. He's going to school Volk. He's going to beat all these guys. But it's not as good as you guys think it is because, like, he won't beat at his 100% peak. You know, I think him at 155 is his peak. Like, he never showed any interest at 170, which shows me he's not huge there. Like, he doesn't believe he's big enough to make 170, which I will get. But the way he looks at 155 just seems a little bit too ideal for me to think he should go up or go down in weight and fight at 145. Now, I'm going to play what Arman says because, of course, maybe Arman knows better than me, but I'm telling you right now, there's no way his body frame at 5'7" and how ripped he already is at 155 can go down to 145 with the likes of Volk and some of these other guys. Let's just play this clip for context so you guys know what I'm talking about.
I'm not getting Gagey. I'm not getting anybody. I'm going to try to get the title 145.
Really?
Yeah, what I can do.
Can you make 145?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Carl, so we did the math, everything. So my body can go to 145.
But would it be healthy? Would it be easy for you?
He's saying it's not easy, but it's we can make it happen. We need if it's fight in June, if we're gonna know like in 2-3 weeks that we are fighting in 145, we will make it happen.
Okay, first of all, that statement was crazy. If he said in 2 and 3 weeks, if he had 2 to 3 weeks, if he had to make that, he'll make 145. Now, when his coach Cal says it's possible to make it, and then Errol Hawani responds with, yes, but is it safe? Like, are you going to be healthy? And Arman's like, it's going to be hard, but I could do it. I think what Coach Cal is saying and what Arman's even saying is they can make 145. You know, TJ Dillashaw could make 125. And before that, he was like, yeah, I'm healthy. This is going to be a good cut. It's going to be an easy cut. He goes to 125, and TJ was like a shell of himself. Like, his chin was just not there. Now, Arman doesn't have a bad chin per se, but we have seen Arman get rocked at 155. The thing about going down is not just his chin that takes a beating, it's his best offensive weapons that takes a beating as well. I think his wrestling's amazing. I just think he'll struggle more because I feel like going to 145, he's going to have to cut a lot of muscles. And if you look at Arman's physique, bro, muscles are a huge part of his fight style and his game plan. Like, Arman is really strong. He's not just a good wrestler. His wrestling and his strength's what makes him so dominant because when he gets people down, he opens up your face. Now, I wouldn't be so opposed to this if I was sure with Arman's frame and his strengths that the cut wouldn't do much negative to his actual fight style. But the fact that him cutting would actually change his best art attributes, in my opinion, and in a negative way is why I'm a little bit hesitant for this to even be considered. And the fact that he's considering this and talking about, oh, maybe June, it's all because of Dana White. Like, this shouldn't even be a thing up for discussion, to be honest. Like, he's the number one. He's not the number one contender anymore because Justin Gaethje skipped him from like number 7 rank because he won the interim belt. Cool. Against Patty, who would get maybe killed by Arman Tsarukyan. But point being said, it's just one of those things where, like, Arman's only reason he's even considering this is because he thinks Dana White, like, is not treating him fairly at 155. But my thing is, if Dana White's not treating you fairly in that weight class, I don't think he's going to treat you fairly at 145. Like, Lopez just got a shot over Mavzar and Lerone Murphy. Why? Because of vibes, dude. Because why not? Why not, dude? That's what, like, I just don't think he's thinking logically. And I feel like this is more spoken out of emotion. I really hope this is wrong. But I'll continue what he kept saying.
What a
because I walk around not big. So I'm like, 177, 175 right now.
That is actually very interesting. That he's only 177, 175. To be fair, this is not what Arman. I think Arman's confused. This is not like his out of shape walk around weight. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later. Arman's always fighting. Like he's not like he's always wrestling. So like his 177 right now, 175 is not his walk around weight. Walk around weight's typically when people are like out of camp and not really doing something. He's always in camp because he's always competing. So 175 is like his in shape weight, and it's probably usually his rehydration weight after cutting gaining more weight after weight cuts. It's probably what he fights on fight night, which is a little bit, it might seem a little bit smaller, but like him outside of camp and outside of everything, I guarantee he can get as big as 185. I'm telling you right now, the guy's huge, but he's always in shape because he's always competing.
If I like start and eat clean, do more cardio, I'm gonna be 165, 166, and then from there, like you know, I can go down. So I gotta walk around. So on the math, I gotta walk around like 163, 162.
Oh my God, his walk around weight has to take a big hit. Like he's gonna be noticeably skinnier. Like if he's gonna start walking around at 166, he will be noticeably like skinnier. The thing about him though, like he'll have to lose muscle. Like a lot of people lose like water weight when they're cutting, but he's gonna have to like cut down on some muscle to even make 145. And I just don't think that's worth it now. Him saying this, of course, it's gonna get some attention and garner attention from like the featherweight weight class. And Volkanovski already responded to him, which is crazy to me. This is what Volk says. I love challenges. If he can get down there, it will definitely be a tough challenge. I feel like my takedown defense is pretty solid, so that one will be a fun one. Now, I want to say something, guys, objectively speaking, like non-biasly, nothing. You guys know how much I love Volk. You know how much I love Arman. At 155, Arman beats Volk good. He actually beats Volk more decisively, listen to what I'm about to say, in the grappling realm than Islam did against Volk. Like, he'll have more decisive grappling wins than Islam Makhachev did have against Volkanovski. Now, that being said, Islam had a great round where he controlled Volk. Didn't do a lot of damage, but he took his back. I think it was the third round and, like I'm not going to say stalled out the whole round, but secured that whole round. Now, with Arman, I do think he'll have a better time holding down Volk. And when he does get down Volk, I actually do see his face getting open. But I'm talking in terms of 155. Now, 145, I just don't know how Arman's cardio is going to hold up. What is Arman's biggest struggle in his only losses? Against Gamrot, against Islam, he slowed down as the fight elongated because his cardio, and he's doing a lot of wrestling now. Volk has great cardio. Volk has great takedown defense. In 145, I can see Volk making it very hard for Arman Tsarukyan, which would make him fatigue a little bit later, maybe in those rounds. But which is why, like, I see things like that, and I'm like, well, Volk's also old, so I actually don't know how this fight would go. But honestly, I don't think it's safe for Arman, considering his pros and cons, to even consider this. Now, it's cool that Volkanovski is willing to give him a title shot, because that's something that the 155 champ's not willing to do. We all witnessed Ilia Topuria say, if they give me Arman Tsarukyan, I will vacate my belt. Patty deserves it more because Patty beat Michael Chandler, and Arman's has not beat anyone as good as Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira doesn't count, whatever that means. But that's what Ilia Topuria was pushing. He didn't want to fight Arman. So it might be enticing more for Arman hearing stuff like this, that the champion at 145 is willing to fight him. But the difference between Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria is that Volkanovski has never ducked a human being in his life. Volkanovski actually said after the Lopez fight that he wants to fight Movsar or Lerone. That's the only thing he wants to do. Then the UFC's like, yeah, dude, but Movsar from the Dagestani region, like, we have other plans for you, man. And then they made him rematch someone who does nothing for his legacy. So I feel for Volk. But one thing about Volk is he'll never duck a fade, which is why Volk's probably the most likable fighter of all time. This guy's always going to show up, and he's going to show up to fight. Whereas you have people like Ilia Topuria, who's a little bit handpicky who he wants to fight because he just prefers the easier fights. So I do think it's cool that Volkanovski is willing to give him a shake, willing to give him a shot, but I don't think Arman should see this or read this and get very excited and want to fight Volkanovski, because I think it does more harm than good. Now, everyone's going to say, well, Kenny, to be honest, though, Arman Tsarukyan did a lot of things to hurt him in 155. That's why Dan is doing it. This is all justified. This isn't justified. The biggest thing they're trying to justify it is they're saying what he does outside the ring. Now, I don't got to talk about what Conor does outside the ring and what, like, John Jones was doing outside the ring or octagon, or what Conor McGregor was doing to buses outside. Like, I don't got to get into that and explain why that's not the real reason, because people are going to gaslight you, like, because he headbutted Dan Hooker. I've never seen a fighter do something that crazy. Like, who can do that? I've never seen a fighter throw shit at buses or something. It's not like I've ever seen a fighter get domestic violence charges and still be able to fight fight and get so much privilege. So Arman Tsarukyan, I draw the line of headbutting a fighter in a very intense face-off. Don't act like you draw the line there. And secondly, I want to bring up the guy who got headbutted himself, Dan Hooker, is an advocate for Arman to get the title shot. The guy who you guys are expecting to be crying over this is the one advocating for Arman Tsarukyan to get the title shot. This is what he says here. I'm going to play the clip because this one is pretty much glazing and he's saying everything we're thinking. He's saying everything that people with common sense are thinking. I can't really speak for like the casual fans, but I'm speaking for like the people with common sense who actually enjoy competitive fights in the UFC. Look what he asks the media and look how he responds to the whole Arman Tsarukyan situation.
Hey, the cameras are all pointed at me. Put your hand up if you think Justin Gaethje's going to win. Ain't a fucking person in this room that put their goddamn hand up. You can't, you know what I mean? Oh, like, I don't know why we aren't seeing Ilya versus Arman. Like, we got to have this. We got to do this. I like Gaethje. We got to do this. Like, and the sport.
I like how he had to say that. Like, because this is not a hate to Gaethje. People, I don't know if anyone watched the Gaethje Paddy fight and they're like, wow. Dude, 155 is the highest level ever. Dude, these guys would fucking, dude, Paddy fights. The Paddy Ilya or the Justin Ilya fight would have been interesting, man. No one sees that. What people see what Arman did to this guy right here who's literally glazing. I ain't gonna lie, he kind of glazing, but he's saying the truth. He's saying what we're all thinking. And Dan Hooker would actually go in there and smash Paddy's face in. Like, people are forgetting. But what he did to him, he's trying to say, like, let's just see the best fight the best. Like, I feel like the new Paramount watchers, cool. You saw Paddy do this shit and then get embarrassed and look so sloppy. I don't think that new Paramount watchers care so much about how sloppy fights, how shitty high level looks. Like, why can't we show Paramount or new watchers the highest level of combat sports? There's people who after watch Justin Gaethje and Paddy, they're like, dude, they're like sipping their Coca-Cola. Fucking belly hanging out their fucking white beater. They're like, dude, I think, dude, with some training camp, I could be champion, dude. I could beat these guys. Because they saw how sloppy that shit was. And they're not even crazy for saying it. They're not, this is one of those things they're not even crazy because, like, via eye test, dude, I could clean up Paddy Pimblett, dude. I could clean up Justin Gaethje. I could be UFC world champion. It's just like deluding the casual fans more than anything. Like, this is doing more harm than good. Broadcasting this as, oh, this is the best fighters in the world, Ultimate Fighting Championship. These guys are fighting for a belt, and it looked like that. Mama.
Is all about timing and momentum, but it's just like Arman's in his physical peak, Ilya's in his physical peak. We want to see like the guys that are on streaking, they're having their moment, compete against each other at this time. You know what I mean? If you sit around and wait long enough, like guys, like one day Ilya will not have that momentum. You know what I mean? Guys can get clipped and then they lose that momentum. Like, no, someone asked me in an interview the other day, and they were like, "How do you beat Ilya Topuria right now?" And I just said, "Father time." I said, "You give it enough time, you roll the dice."
Or just give him Arman. But yeah, I see what he's saying. If it's not Arman, then yeah, Father Time will be Ilya.
For long enough, and that's it. No one's the best forever. It's extremely momentary. But while these two guys are streaking and they're in their physical prime and the momentum's there, like that's the fight that we want to see. Even though it was fucking Arman chiming, I did an interview, Arman's chiming at me. I was like, "Watch the whole interview, you dickhead. I'm the one pushing for you to get a title shot, and you're chatting shit at me."
This is true. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Everything you said was true. Like, oh my, like they're both at their physical peak, and that's what we want to see. That's the most competitive fight. That's the only appealing fight at 155. No one else on the UFC community wants to see it, especially now that Paddy and Ilya is down the drain, like I said it would be, because I told you guys Justin Gaethje was gonna beat him, even though Justin Gaethje is a 37-year-old bum. All right, see, you just told me that. I didn't mean to say bum. Like, that just came out from passion. But I just knew what was gonna happen in this fight, and just like I know what's gonna happen if Ilya fights Justin. Let's just say it's not gonna take more than a round for that to happen. You know, like the way Justin Gaethje was coming, bro. Like, it's like one of those things. Like, why do the UFC company and Dana crave fights that they know the results to? You know, I just don't understand it. And I really just hope that this is an awakening situation. Seeing someone like Dan Hooker, who Dana White's complaining, well, I'm only not giving him the shot because he headbutted Hooker. And that's what people are saying. Well, it's because of headbutt or Hooker. You know, they said at first they're trying to say activity or Charles Oliveira fight. Charles sucks or whatever. Charles goes and smokes other people. Then Arman smokes Charles. And then Arman beats Hooker. Yeah, he beat Hooker, but the headbutt did like put him back 5 years. So now he needs to beat 5 more people. Who's he gonna beat? Give him Charles. Well, he already beat Charles. Oh fuck, give him Hooker. Well, he already beat Hooker. Well, fucking, I don't know, man. Give him Max or something. Well, Max is not a favorable matchup. Like, we gotta give him. Oh, so The point is they just don't want Arman to fight for the belt. They don't know what they want to do with Arman. And it's coming to the point where Arman, like, I don't see him as a UFC fighter. I see him as a Raw fighter. He's on real American freestyle wrestling more than anything, guys. And look at who he's booked against. I did my research on this guy. This guy's really good. I see him on YouTube Shorts sometimes. He's very hard to take down. He's a great wrestler. And this is actually a good test for Arman Tsarukyan. And Arman Tsarukyan is going over here, risking his medal, like risking his record, his name, on like freestyle wrestling matches against people who are actually hard, legitimate competition because the UFC's not doing anything for him. The UFC's not paying, like, he's getting paid for this. He's getting paid per appearances. He's doing good for himself, considering what the UFC's not doing for him, which is giving him a rightful title shot, giving him a number one. Guys, the Charles Oliveira fight was for a number one contender spot. The Dan Hooker fight was a number one contender spot. You know, he's fighting all for these number one contenders next for the belts until he beats them, and then they try to move the goalpost. You know, now Charles Oliveira, guys, if he beats Max, because I do think Charles has a chance, and I do think he's going to beat Max. When that happens, I'm telling you right now, Charles will get it over Arman. But Kenny, didn't Arman beat Charles? Yeah, but Charles is bigger superstar. Yeah, baby. Yeah, he's the biggest superstar, so they're going to give it to Charles. I know how this game works, man, and I know Arman's obviously the best lightweight on the planet. It's just one of those things. Dana White's not doing anything for him, so he's doing things like this, taking fights against random people who are great wrestlers who he's risking his record against, as well as facts of entertaining going down to 145 because he has no other option, because Dana White in the UFC doesn't want to do anything else for Arman. So what is Arman really supposed to do? He's done it all. He's tried it all, and the UFC just is leading to the downfall in the end of Arman Tsarukyan's career, and it simply has something to do with the UFC's poor matchmaking. They're wasting a great career in this guy, and it's not like Arman's boring. Like, he takes you guys down and he breaks their face in an entertaining fashion. You know, it's very Habib-esque, the way he ground and pound some of these guys. It's sad to see the UFC waste so much potential. Also not surprising, but it also should be a wake-up call, man. Like, they try to have plans with Patty. It depends on what's a shit, because both of those guys were low level, but Justin Gaethje was just a better, more experienced low level fighter. I don't want to call Gaethje low level, but of course, if you look at the skill in that fight, it just wasn't very high. He just kind of beat Patty off of, like, let me just break you and show you you're not good at fighting. And that's what he did. But Arman Tsarukyan would clear those two. Everyone knows that. Ilia Topuria would clear those two. Everyone knows that. It's a matter of when are we going to book the right fights and when are we going to stop stalling. But let me know what you guys think about Tsarukyan's potential move to 145 that I feel like is just a waste of his time. That's it for me. God bless. 2, 3, 4.